Good morning, Southwest Florida, and welcome to Saving the Investor. I'm Alfie Townsend, and if you're one of the millions that are concerned about higher taxes, inflation, and the national debt, you're in the right place.
Coming up on today's show, goal-based investing, income planning challenges, long-term care considerations, and much more.
Welcome to Saving the Investor with certified financial planner, investment advisor, and insurance professional Alfie Townsend, president of Advantage Retirement Group. Alfie is a published author, radio show host, speaker, and industry leader.
Why do you use an annuity? A lot of people use it for the wrong thing.
He works with retirees and pre-retirees to build and protect their nest egg and offers his experience to help those concerned about financial independence in retirement. If you've got questions about retirement, Saving the Investor starts now.
Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Saving the Investor. We are glad you're with us on this Sunday morning. I'm Craig Wolf, and I am with, as always, certified financial planner and professional Alfie Townsend here at the Advantage Retirement Group. Alfie, good morning. I'd like to talk this morning, or at least to start out, how a lot of people seem to lose sight of their goals and they're fixated more on what's right in front of them. So let's talk about goals-based investing, which I guess translates in somewhat to long-term versus short-term strategy.
That's exactly it. So when we put a plan together, we're looking at it every year. But our big plan is a long-term plan to get them to and through retirement. So when you have market conditions like we've had, you start to doubt your long-term plan. That's what happens. You doubt that you're going to be able to keep your long-term plan. But then they make adjustments. They want to make adjustments, or they panic. And that will ruin your long-term plan. So you got to, we always like to say, you got to think about your long-term plan and what are you going to do to get there. Okay, so we already have it in place, what it takes to get there. And what it doesn't take in place, is really making unrational moves like the market going down and you're jumping out of the market and then getting back in it. That's the worst thing you can do. So you want to look at your long-term goals, and then is this money for legacy? Is this money, what's this money for? Is it for income in 5 years, income for 10 years? So it's very easy to want to make changes when things aren't perfect.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, everybody's goal is to have double-digit return on their investments, 12, 15%, even more when things are good. But you do have to kind of take a step back and look at the larger picture of what do you want to do with your life, for your kids' lives, for your grandkids, that makes everybody happy and safe and prosperous.
Yeah, and that's it. I think if people look at it that way, they're gonna have a more comfortable life in retirement. Because if again, we have so much information every day. We have this information that can drive your emotion, and you just got to sit back and say, listen, I have my long-term goal, and my long-term goal is to get to this spot right here. And we're going to have the ups and downs to get to that spot, but you can't make changes when the market, if it goes down 1,000 points, you cannot panic, because the ones that panic are the ones that will never get to their long-term goal because they're looking too short. They're not long-term looking anymore. They're looking really what's right in front of them, and to get right in front of you, you have to not make changes. If you have a good plan in place, you don't have to worry about making changes because the portfolio managers are making changes. Where we might make a change would be if income. If we're taking income from this source that's going down, we might want to say, okay, let's leave that alone and start taking income from this source that's not going down. That's why you can't have everything going up and down at the same time. We have to be able to make changes like that when it comes time to income, but your long-term goal is going to be met if you don't panic.
And despite over your 40-year career, the expertise that you've accumulated with the X's and O's and the nuts and bolts, a lot of your clients have told me that you talk to them about their lives, and you also employ some psychological tools, which I find interesting, which greatly contribute to the success of somebody's portfolio with you.
Yeah, we want to utilize the tools out there when it comes to risk, and we want to make sure that they're in the right risk, because if they're in the right risk, Craig, they're not going to be too volatile when that market is going down. They're not going to be going down more than they can handle psychologically and personally. So it's important to make sure that they're in the right portfolios to start with, and adjustments are going to be made. And look, the older you get, your risk, we want to talk about risk every year on the annual reviews, because their risk might be changing. It might be going down, and it might be going up too. I have some that says, you know what, I don't really need this money, it's for legacy. Let's be a little bit more risk. So everybody's situation is different. That's why I say a custom portfolio is what we do here at the Advanced Retirement Group. We're not putting you in just one thing for all. It's everyone has what I always say is you'd rather have a hand-built car than a really mass-produced car. If they're the same price, you'll take a hand-built car any day. And that's what you want. You want something for you, not for your friend.
Yeah, and I think these kind of conversations you have with your clients and potential clients are what sets you apart from
thank you. Appreciate that.
Far from objective, but I'm very comfortable saying that.
Thank you.
We're just getting started this morning on Saving the Investor. Stick around.
You are watching Saving the Investor, where your money matters.
If you're ready to create your dream retirement, I have just the book for you. Unlike most books on investing, it doesn't require a large investment of your time. It's not filled with financial jargon and difficult to understand explanations. It's an easy read filled with valuable insights. So valuable, in fact, that anyone who's soon to be or already is retired should have a copy on their shelves. And today, it can be yours at absolutely no cost. It's called Making Waves in Retirement, written by Alfie Townsend, Southwest Florida's certified financial planner professional, radio show host, and TV personality. Making Waves in Retirement breaks down the insights that Alfie's gained over his 4 decades of helping people just like you plan for retirement. Real stories about real people, illustrating what they've done wrong and what they've done right. Strategies to help retirees and those soon to retire make the right decisions and avoid costly mistakes. And if you save for retirement, this is the book for you. Get your complimentary copy today simply by being one of the first 5 callers. The number to dial is 239-747-1080. That's 239-747-1080. There are no strings attached, so if you're interested in living your dream retirement, you have nothing to lose and quite possibly much to gain.
Ready to live your retirement dreams? Then it's time to meet Alfie, Southwest Florida's certified financial planner. Schedule your complimentary retirement income plan review now. Give Alfie a call, 239-747-1080.
You know, when it comes to income planning, I think that's one of the hardest parts of planning for retirement, because we're in a very low, we're still, even though interest rates are rising, we're still technically in a low interest rate environment. Okay, and how much can you take out of a portfolio? That rule of thumb is no more than 4 to 5% would be that dollar amount or percent amount that you can take out of a portfolio. So, if you have a dividend paying portfolio, hey, we have some that are doing, that 3 to 4%. So if you just want dividend, if you want something like a bigger, more of a 5 or 6 type of payout, you might have to do a fixed annuity of some sort. What if you want a little bit more and say, I'm willing to take a little bit of risk? And that might be what we do. It's called a structured note, and where there's some principal protection, but then is sometimes that you could lose some of your principal if it gets down to a certain percent. We can set different barriers. I can explain all that when you give us a call, come in, but this is something that can give you that 7 to 8% type of payout. And that's what we're looking for. Look, inflation right now is running high. So as inflation runs high, you have to have more than what the banks are paying, what you're taking, what your dividends are paying. So this could be the ticket to give you extra money, and you take a little bit of risk and say, I'm willing to risk this amount to get this amount of interest. And it might be a vehicle that can be, good for part of your portfolio. It's called a structured note. I'd be more than happy to explain more of it to you. But there are things that we can do here to give you that income that you need. And again, the portfolio is there to fight inflation. Inflation is there. There's no doubt about it. We see what things are costing. So you got to, have your portfolio working for you. You have to have income coming in. And again, doing this for almost 40 years, it's not easy task to say, okay, we want to fight inflation, we want to grow our money, and we want to protect as much as we can. So it's a fine line, and that's where I say a certified financial planner professional is, that's the part that we look at holistically. We have to look at everything instead of just one sector. So give us a call to see if we can put you in a better situation.
You are watching Saving the Investor, where your money matters. Ready to live your retirement dreams? Then it's time to meet Alfie, Southwest Florida's certified financial planner. Schedule your complimentary retirement income plan review now. Give Alfie a call, 239-747-1080.
You have a club for every scenario, a driver for the long holes, wedges to get you over the hazards, and a putter when you need a touch of finesse. And you need plenty of these too. What about your retirement? Will you have enough to play the back nine? Find out today. Schedule your complimentary retirement income plan review with Alfie Townshend, Southwest Florida's certified financial planner. Call 239-747-1080.
You've got questions, and Alfie has the answers that will keep you on the retirement fairway. I'm 67 years old, and I don't need my required minimum distributions right now. Do you think I should do a Roth conversion?
67 years old, and you're not needing your required minimum distribution. So you have about 5 years before you have to start taking the required minimum distributions out. Taxes are most likely going to be going up in the future. So if you can handle, we have a great program here at our office that will put your 1040 form in there, and it will really tell us what your average rate is, average marginal tax rate, and your marginal tax rate. It will tell us if it makes sense to do it. Now you have to be aware, when you do a Roth conversion, you'll be paying some taxes on Social Security. So we have to take all that in consideration. So I just don't want to say yes or no. It'd be better to come in, let us put it through the program, and it will tell us if you're a good candidate for it.
I'm considering working with a financial advisor, and I'm interested in knowing more about their fees. Basically, what will it end up costing me? Can you tell me how financial advisors make money?
That's a good question. So there's different ways financial advisors make money. The main thing is this: if you're not seeing what the fee is on your statement, then they're making money more in a commission way based on what they're putting in. If it's mutual funds, they're getting paid by the mutual fund company. What we do is we get paid by you, so you'll see our fees monthly, and you want to be transparent about that. You want to know exactly what you're paying. If I'm buying something, I want to make sure I know what I'm paying for that. When you have a mutual fund, you don't really know what you're paying. A lot of times we'll analyze people's accounts. If you don't know what you're paying, it's a great time to come in. We'll analyze what you have, and we'll show you what it's actually costing you. So it's important to find out what you are paying for their services. And we'll show you what, we talk about it when we meet. If you want to use our services, we'll talk about the fees. We'll talk about how we get paid and what we do for our money that we're getting from you.
I'm remarried, and I want to make sure my spouse is taken care of, but I also want to make sure my kids and grandkids are too. How should I do that?
Here in Southwest Florida, I see it all the time. People are getting married, they lost a spouse, and they don't want to be alone. They're going to get a second marriage and maybe even a third marriage. But when that happens, you also have your children from one marriage, and you want to make sure that your children are taken care of. You want to make sure your spouse is taken care of. So how do you do that? the best way or beneficiary form, beneficiary, or we can really, I think the best way would be a trust. And you need a trust that will be an irrevocable trust. I'm not an attorney. We do have an attorney that we partner with here at the Advantage Retirement Group, but what's going to happen is they're going to put something together for you that will make sure that your spouse is taken care of if something happens to you, but your children, the bloodline, will go to your children. So this is something that really takes a lot of planning and talking. If you need to have that conversation, we'd love to have that with you.
You are watching Saving the Investor, where your money matters.
When you're nearing your retirement, it's important that your plan include the proper steps to make an efficient and effective transition. There's a lot to consider. Will your income plan meet your lifestyle? How should you reallocate your assets? Is your withdrawal plan tax efficient? Well, practice makes perfect, but you only retire once. So how do you know you're making the right decisions and avoiding costly mistakes? Well, that's simple. Call Alfie Townsend, Southwest Florida's certified financial planner professional. Alfie has over 30 years of experience helping people just like you transition into retirement. So be one of the first 5 callers and receive your complimentary retirement transition review. Call 239-747-1080. There's no cost and no strings attached. Your retirement transition review includes key deadline schedules, asset reallocation guides, income plan analysis, and tax-efficient withdrawal strategies. Be one of the first 5 callers now, and this review is yours at no cost. Call 239-747-1080. You only retire once, so let's get this right. Call Alfie now. Welcome to another segment of Team Talk. I'm Mary Thompson with Alfie Townsend, certified financial planner and president and founder of Advantage Retirement Group.
Good morning.
Good morning, Alfie. You know, you have your newest book. This is your second book, and it's called, I love it, Making Waves in Retirement. That's what we all want to do. And I want to start our time together today talking about that very first appointment when you're sitting down with people for the first time, and some of the conversations that you have, because in order for you to help them plan for retirement, you need to get to know them. Let's talk a little bit about that first appointment. That's
a good point. It's not always about, what they're holding, what they have, and all that. That's important, of course. But before I get to that, I want to find out more about them. And that's called, that's our value session in a sense, because I want to see what their values are, what's important to them, because a lot of people when they come here, it's only about, they think we're only going to talk about, creating an income or looking at their portfolio, but we want to know really more about them. You have this pile of money that you work very, very hard for, and you want this money to last as long as you do. But then when you're no longer here, that's what I ask, where do you want your money to go? And, a lot of times people will say, we want our kids to have it, so it could be a legacy. So that's important to them. It could be their grandchildren. Some people are very giving to charities. Right. So why they're alive, not when they pass. So everybody's situation is different. But I want to dig deeper with people when they come in. I want to find out more about them and see if we can get them to their goals. There's accounts that we have, Mary, that they can really put money in, get a big write-off, and have a charitable foundation really we can create for them, where they can give money when they want at different charities. So there's things that can be done, but a lot of people don't talk about it. But if that's your part, we deal with a lot of our clients are charitable and they're givers, and that's what I love about this business, and it really to get more to know our clients. And
I think a lot of people, like you said, are charitable that we work with, and I think a lot of that stems from the fact that you and Tommy, your wife, are very charitable as well, and that's something that you value And you have a heart for the community and a heart for the kids and the elderly, and it really shines through to people.
Yeah, and for example, this year, we wanted to do something, my wife wanted to do something for the elderly at Harry Chapin. So, we let our clients know what was happening, and we were matching what they were giving, and we raised quite a bit of money for that. And then they said, now we want to do something for the kids, and we love the kids. With in my book, I talked about Florida Methodist Children's Home, and my sister and I was there for about a year or so, and so that that's when we were about 10 and 12 years old. So that was a very really important time of our life, and it was a hard time. But I realize that kids around Christmas, and it's always a tough time around there. So we want to do something for the kids in our community. So that's what's nice, really being able to do that. To be giving is they always say giving is better, than receiving, and it is true.
It is.
It really is true.
It is. And Alfie, you've weaved a lot of your stories into your book, and I appreciate that because you've shared your heart and your experiences, and you do have a big heart for kids and elderly, and very generous and inclined.
Thank you.
So actually, if you would like to get a copy of Alfie's book, I invite you to give a call to the number on the screen, and we'd be happy to get that out to you.
Ready to live your retirement dreams? Then it's time to meet Alfie, Southwest Florida's certified financial planner. Schedule your complimentary retirement income plan review now. Give Alfie a call, 239-747-1080. You are watching Saving the Investor, where your money matters. We all have a picture of our perfect retirement, but how do we get there? At Advantage Retirement Group, helping you get there is our business. We're passionate about getting to know you, learning your hopes and dreams. Why? So we can work with you to achieve them. How? By maximizing the money you've saved, minimizing the dollars you pay in taxes and the risk you are exposed to, and creating a retirement income plan that ensures your savings lasts a lifetime. We're thankful to work with so many wonderful people, and we'd love to work with you too. Call Advantage Retirement Group today for your no-cost, no-obligation evaluation, 239-747-1080. Your retirement is too important to put off. Call now, 239-747-1080.
Long-term care is something that that's how I started my career in 1983, was long-term care. Believe it or not, that was one of the toughest products to explain to people, and it was very hard for people to grasp it, saying, I got to pay all this money, and if I never go in a nursing home or home health care, all that money went to waste. Well, what happened back then was you had to qualify for it. You had to be in really good health, and the company said they'll never raise your rates, but they do have the right to change the rates if the state allows them to raise the rates. And sure enough, that's what happened, and people started just canceling out these policies. So long-term care policies were very complicated back when I first started, and not too many people have a long-term care policy, but the insurance companies listened to a lot of advisors that we were advising them, saying, this is what we need. And if we had something like this, I think the people would really, really run to it. And this is what they developed. They did it with life insurance, and they did it with annuities. And how it works is this: you can have an IRA. This is what I think is fascinating about it. First of all, there's no health questions on the IRA one. No health questions. So if you have an IRA, if you have money sitting in the bank, this is really what we call a bond alternative, okay? Where it's going to pay you some money down the road. It will pay money down the road. It earns money while it's paying you money. But on the other hand, if you or your spouse needed home health care benefits or long-term care benefits, that money that they're paying you would double. Okay, think about this. If you were getting $40,000 a year lifetime income coming in, and it could be IRA money, it could be non-IRA money, and then all of a sudden your health gets bad or your spouse's health gets bad. Now remember, if it's IRA money, let's say it's your IRA and your spouse is the one that gets sick, you can let your spouse use your benefits for up to 5 years on double income. Now, it sounds a little confusing, but as long as you can't do 2 out of 6 activity daily living and your doctor is their doctor, this thing will double the income for up to 5 years for either you or your spouse. No questions asked on qualifying for this. You have to, have it for 2 years. That's it. It has to be 2 years old. But there's more details about it. I would love to explain it more in detail to see if it's something that could be in your arsenal with part of your IRA or money that's sitting in the savings to benefit you guys down the road if you ever need it.
You are watching Saving the Investor, where your money matters. Ready to live your retirement dreams? Then it's time to meet Alfie, Southwest Florida's certified financial planner. Schedule your complimentary retirement income plan review now. Give Alfie a call, 239-747-1080.
Retirement gives you long-awaited opportunities. You finally gain control over how you spend your time. But you also need control of your investments, of your hard-earned money. There are a lot of moving parts, and just saving over the years is the first part. What about generating income, your Social Security, minimizing taxes, or managing risk? If you save for retirement, call us at 239-747-1080. Retirement can last more than 20 years, yet many people don't have enough money saved to get through 1 decade, let alone 2. Call us at 239-747-1080. Let us show you how to make your nest egg go the distance. That's 239-747-1080.
At Mark Lauren Designs, we love what we do. We have a passion for the handcrafted nature of our industry. Many jewelry stores, they don't make jewelry anymore. What they do is they order it out of a catalog and they sell it as custom, whereas we actually start from scratch. The pieces that we design for our customers, each is unique. Each says, I love you in a different, unique way. They're just individual, one-of-a-kind works of art. And that's one of the things that makes it exciting and fun for us.
Mondo Uomo offers a remarkable selection of the latest styles in menswear. Visit Mondo Uomo at the Village on Venetian Bay in Naples, Alberto, Bugacci, St. Croix, Zanella. Come see what remarkable shopping is all about.
Remember the Wall Street bailouts? Those same big banks and financial firms have been fined billions for misleading customers. And now they want to manage your retirement savings. Why would you trust them? I'm Alfie Townsend, Southwest Florida's certified financial planner professional. My values are Main Street, not Wall Street. As an independent advisor, I don't work for shareholders, I work for you. If you want a fresh start with a local advisor, give me a call today.